Look something up real quick. We wanted to talk last 5 years of the Jaguars. Not their whole entire life history, just the last 5 years. We want to see if they've improved at all in the last 5 years, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we're going to do a screen share. Something going on here. Facebook's hilarious. But I'm retrieving it off of Facebook here. I said go Jags. The reason why is because I think that basically at a football game, if you ever been to a football game, obviously they only had a minimum amount of time to spend, so they can't waste any time at all. It's all precious moments that you have to do things. So obviously this was a snapshot that had to take they had the chance to take the snapshot, and maybe the person ruined the Jaguars opportunity. But here is the Jaguars. This is what happened. Wow. So anyways, there you have it. So I just wanted people's opinion on that. Do you think the Jaguars mascot went overboard on this one or not? Log off of there. We're going to look at staying on the Jaguars until we move on. Go to NFL.com. We'll look up. It doesn't look like any news has changed. NFL news. Still the same for the past couple of days. Jaguar schedule. I hate the way that the NFL.com's websites jump every time you go to screen to screen. You're like, yeah, and it'll like hesitate too, and you like go to click on it and it goes jump, and then you click on the wrong thing. It's just retarded. Okay, looking at the 2016 schedule, how many games do you think the Jags are going to win? Maybe 5 this year? Okay, they got the Carolina Panthers at Jacksonville. Miami comes to Jacksonville. New England comes to Jacksonville. Boy, I'd like to see them beat them. They could put on a really good game plan for Brady because, like I said, he's a one-dimensional quarterback. So it really shows on how strong they are if they basically can do the same exact play every single game, play the same exact thing. Hey, Gronkowski, hit Edelman, hit all these pukes out on the field. And it blows my mind how people just can't, by watching how New England and Tom Brady play, how they cannot just shut him down as it is, and their team, just from being ready from them and expecting exactly the same exact thing every game, and they don't. So I don't know. But anyway, so the Jaguars got Indy, and then the Jaguars have Tampa. So I think they might have a chance against Tampa, and that's about it. They're not gonna beat Carolina. I don't think they'll beat Miami this time. New England or Indy, but they might have a chance against Tampa Bay. Then they've got Houston. I think they'll win one of the games at least against Houston, if not both. Because Houston has a strong defense, but every team's kind of plagued with various curses. We'll look at. So, I mean, we'll give them one game for Houston. So that's 2. Then they've got Buffalo. I'll give them. Then they got the Jets. I'll give them the Jets. So they've got the AFC East basically, and the looks like the NFC South, AFC East, and the NFC South as far as their schedule goes. So we'll give them the Jets. And they play Baltimore, Tennessee. We'll give them one of the Tennessee games. And they have San Diego, Tennessee again, Indy again. Then they have Atlanta, and then New Orleans, and then Houston. So I've got 4 possible games. They're really going to have to show up with the schedule that they have because they're buffed out of a week schedule. So it's like they have a pretty tough schedule with all those teams in particular. So let's take a look back. Preparation. You never know with preparation. It is the NFL and it is any given Sunday, but that's just my guess that they have a chance to maybe win 4 games. And realistically, the way they've been playing for years, it's going to come down to maybe 2 games. So Jaguars last year played Philly. They were rolling, and then Philly just picked up a huge gust of wind and just flattened them 34-17. And the Jaguars were shutting them out right off the bat and then just quit. They just couldn't go any further. And it looks embarrassing. They had San Diego last year also. So there's a few things like their schedule, like their division counterparts isn't anything new. But let's see. Oh, I'm kind of surprised. How many games did they win last year? They beat Cleveland. They beat Cleveland. They beat the Giants. They beat Tennessee 1 game. And they lost both games to Houston. And I really don't like Houston. Lived in the Jacksonville area for a while now, and my mom's from here, so kind of have ties from Jacksonville. So as far as like the Seahawks went, their true rival in their division was the Niners, so I hated the Niners for a long time. A lot of my family are Niner fans, and I was the Seahawks, the odd one out, I guess. But I dislike the Niners, and now it's going to be more towards the Rams and the Cardinals, depending on how well their quarterback picks up or whatever. They have very, very highly competitive coaches on those teams. So we'll have to see what the Niners do, but I don't think it's going to be the Niners now. Maybe for a while, it'll be the Rams, and the Cardinals will be. They might even fight it out to see which one of them two ends up being the Seahawks' most hated rival in their division. So just like that with Jacksonville, Houston had been my most hated team as far as them rivaling with the Jaguars and me getting sick and tired of seeing them beat Jaguars. It just, you could predict it, and it was just ridiculous. So last year, honestly, I see they only won 2 games last year. That's crazy, crazy sad. 2014, 2013. Let's look. Yeah, they played Kansas City. Kansas City rolled them hard. That was just irritating, really, really irritating. They had the Seahawks too, so they had basically the both West divisions, the AFC West and the NFC West. Looks like kind of last year. They had Oakland and Kansas City, and then it shoots right to Seattle on their schedule for 2013. I'm sorry, and then I'm looking, and I don't see. You see them almost becoming the Lions. The Lions were the first and only team in franchise history to ever um, lose all 16 games. Right? They actually did that. I think so. I believe that's what happened. Not sure. I have to go and recheck that. Look, the Jaguars beat Tennessee again, but everybody else seems to be rolling them, including the St. Louis Rams. 2013, that was irritating to me because I like the Seahawks, and I've been waiting for them to come here and play the Jaguars so I could show up in my Seahawk gear there, and they made them go to Seattle the last 8 years now or whatever, because every 4 years they rotate to the other division, the other conferences, divisions rotate. All four rotate around from them, and they had every 4 years that they had the Seahawks, they went to Seattle, and I was like, why didn't they make them come here? But it's all right, I guess. I'm waiting for them to make Seattle come here, is what I'm saying, and they made me wait a really, really, really long time. So if I go back home, I have to take it's like probably almost about a 10 to 12 hour drive or journey. It's basically like driving from here to um, a lot of places up north, you know. So it's a pretty extreme trip if I went back home to catch a game in Seattle. It's from, like I said, it's like a 12-hour drive. So that's what you're talking about forcing me to do if I actually really wanted to go see them play the Jaguars. Having to force me to have to go back there. So anyway, so I don't see the Jaguars. They came close to losing to Tennessee too. They're lucky that they didn't lose their butt. Oh, November 24th, Jacksonville 13, Houston 6. Yeah. So that's 3. Jacksonville beats Cleveland again in 2013. It's 4. Then they beat Houston. That's 5 games. So they got lucky. And I went to that game December 5th. Houston at Jacksonville, because like I said, I wanted to see them lose. So I went there, took a chance, that the Jaguars are going to whoop them. And they did. So I was happy. Anyhow, so that's, like I said, that's what they had. They had 5 games in 2013. So 5. Then they went back to 2 games. And from 2013 to 2014, they won 5 games, and then only won 2 games. And let's go to 2012. 2012. Jaguars beat Indy. Indy was struggling, remember, in 2012. One. Hmm. Whoa. Jacksonville 37, Houston 43 in Houston. It's crazy. It would seem like it might have been overtime. November 18th, 2012. Jag won one. So that's two. Right? No. Yeah. Jag beat Indy. Third game in 2012. Oh, and then the Jags beat Tennessee a second time. That's always good. And part of why I don't really like the Jets, because the Jets came down here and clobbered them one time, and they were really smart alecks about it too. So I don't really like the Jets. Yeah, the Jaguars look sad. So 2012 they won two games. So they went 2-5 and then back to 2 in 2014 from 2012. All right, 2011. 2011 Jaguars regular season. Jaguars win at home first game versus Tennessee. Won. Then they really go to crap. Then they play like trash. I don't understand the Jaguars, especially against teams they should have whopped. Like Pittsburgh, they're struggling at times, and you can't beat them. That's insane. So one, then Jaguars beat Baltimore, and they had a history of beating Baltimore for a while, or being able to play a good game with them anyways. So that's 2-3. They beat Indy on November 13th, their 10th game, right after their bye week. They came out and won against Indy. And then the Jags beat Tampa really good that year. So that's 4. And then they beat Indy again. That's 5. In 2011. So from 2011 to 2014, they went 5-2, 5, and then 2. 2010, the survey said. The survey says, oh, they beat Denver. Denver must have been 2010. That's pre-Manning their era. So it's got Denver, they beat Denver, they beat Indy, they beat Buffalo. They beat Dallas. And they always play good against Dallas for a long time, especially with Del Rio here. So that's 4, 2010. In this year, they drafted Gabbert. Okay. Then they beat Houston on November 14th, 2010, 10th game right after their bye week. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a look at football here. So, did you see that? We're looking again at 2010. The year is 2010. We're looking at 2010. We've counted down from 2014 to 2010. It is Jaguars beat Denver. Lose to San Diego. Lose to Philly. Beat Indy. So that's still when Del Rio was still here. He gave him a little bit more of a challenge. Now I don't know what is up with them. Their chemistry, it's just maybe so mixed with different things. I don't know. The defense, what the Jaguars are doing now is they have a an offensive head coach, or basically a head coach playing what is it? He's assistant to the head coach now, Gus Bradley. So Gus Bradley will be calling. I guess they still have him calling all the shots on offense and defense. But really, what they want to do is they want to be able to correlate on offense, and then let Gus Bradley get the defense squared away. Because remember, somewhere around this time that we're looking at 2010, 2011, the Jaguars were actually number 7 in the whole NFL on defense. So to watch their potential go from that to just decline and decay to go straight to heck like this, it's kind of sad. So having them here, if I have an opinion or something, and I'm not gonna tell the Jaguars honestly anything I don't honestly think won't help them out, that won't improve their team. Otherwise, like whenever I talk smack to people, definitely it's about something definitely that you can focus on that they need to work on as a team or individual players or whatever it is. You're pointing out whenever you tell different people their flaws. It comes off mean, but all you're trying to do is help them out, really. Or realistically, all that's supposed to do is something positive, and it's supposed to help them be able to focus on their problem that they're struggling with. So that's why I put an emphasis on certain things, but it's not like I'm necessarily always struggling on it. I just like to fine tune some certain things. Like blocking is important to me, and I understand its role. When you're talking about martial arts, is more important than the strike. The blocking part comes first. So basically, if you're put into a situation where you have to strike first, and it's honest to God, you didn't have any other choice, but you had to act or move or whatever, I can respect that. But generally, it's defense and then attack. You get that? This is my favorite move. For defense, attack. Defense, defense. Knock somebody's hand down. Defense, attack. Both hands, both hands. Sometimes both hands do come into play. But if you have a lot of power that you're working with there, and that's what they want to do. They want to make sure that when this is blocked, that it's got a good chance to get in there and hit somebody anyways. And then you're talking about speed and a whole lot of other things. that go into if you're going to win or not. But typically it's defense and then attack. Defense, attack. You talk about how one motion you want to have a block and then a strike all in one motion. A block and a strike. I like striking this way, so I've been putting an emphasis on my karate chops that way. And again, like yesterday, I was I was feeling really super sore, like just on fire, just like enough to make my mind pop and explode. And not really. I mean, it's not like a headache, so I guess that's kind of a bad way to describe it. But my body felt like inflamed, inflared, just throbbing, just so much that at times when it does that, it's like I'm like cross-eyed and just like insane. It drives me insane. Actually, literally makes me crazy. But I like to loosen it up, and I don't do that. So I'm like maybe doing something on my end that I should be doing more. I'm not doing it, like stretching. You know, really, if they make you stretch whenever you work out, why wouldn't you just stretch out before you go and do anything that you do typically in a day, like work or anything? Doesn't matter if you babysit or anything. I mean, that your imagination could think of that any one person could do. Pick fruit for a living, maybe even meditate. Meditation is so good because it helps your body relax, and that I believe is part of rejuvenating your body and letting your body heal and relax. But I don't always do that because when it happens to me, it hits me right on, and there's really nothing I can do about it. Like, also right before that, a time ago, I wasn't like suffering my muscles were as in pain as they were, but the skin on my body for some reason, and I had just a little tiny exposure to being outside, and that was it. But and my skin was completely white, no red from getting a burn or anything like that. But my skin was like like it had like I just got sunburned really bad. Anyways, it was like how you feel that, but you can tell. My mind can tell and sense. I don't know, maybe it's different than other people, but I could sense that it wasn't like a permanent like thing. That it was just for some reason my body was burning. The skin was burning. And it felt though it did feel like it was gonna break out into sores. It did. It had me actually wondering from how hot and weird the sensation was that I felt like I was going to break out in sores on my skin. So, anyways, that's really weird. But anyway, so 2010, they beat Denver. I'm just going to count through it real quick. I'm not going to mention the other teams. We've got 5 already up to week 10 in 2010. 6, 7. Oh, I remember this. Oh, me and my pops went to this game, the Oakland Jaguar game. I got a pin from that in the office. But anyways, and then they blew it basically because they won in 2010, 5, 6, 7. They won 8 games. It came down to what happened? Did they make the postseason? Let's see. No, it would have said because I'm pretty sure it would have kept on going from the regular season on the NFL.com schedule. Whenever you look at individual teams, when they're history or now or whenever, if it goes into the playoffs, it'll add the playoffs to the regular season. So you had 8 games. Is that right? You might even have to actually break it down to where you'd start having to look at their division teams, like if Houston basically got into the playoffs and Jaguars didn't. And honestly, if no, they didn't go to the playoffs. Somehow they got bumped out of the playoffs. So that's really weird. With 8 games, that's probably why, because they had Indy or somebody, Manning was still there, right? Something. Indy and Houston maybe made it, and Jaguars didn't. All right, here we go. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. They had to have narrowly missed the playoffs from one of their other, probably Houston and Indy probably got in there. Because at that time, Tennessee wasn't playing worth the crap already. So you went from 8 games to 5 games, 2 games to 5 games, back to 2 games. So are they going to go? Are they going to go back to 5 games or 8 games? You know, I mean, I don't want to pull the carpet underneath them and take the wind out of them with this, but really, I mean, they're going to have to work extremely hard. Just like I work hard to trying to come up with the chemistry for my own self as far as my diet goes, and really so far I can tell you one of the results that I have that's really been actually really good is my sleeping habit. I don't no longer have any problems being able to go to sleep at a certain time every single night and waking up at a certain time. And I believe it's from eating healthier stuff like avocados and a bunch of fruit and just stuff that I basically recommend to myself. So it says that they were the second in the AFC South, but they didn't make it in 2010. So who knows? Let's see. Oh, so here's the schedule for this week NFL. I'm gonna screen share it. Do. Packers at Bears, Chiefs at Texans, Browns at Jets, Colts at Bills, Dolphins at Redskins, Panthers at Jaguars, Seahawks at Rams, Saints at Cardinals, Lions at Chargers, Titans at Buccaneers, Bengals at Raiders, Ravens at Broncos, Giants at Cowboys, Eagles at Falcons, Vikings at Niners for your doubleheader. Both looks like they're both on ESPN, so it's your Monday night doubleheader, ladies and gentlemen, without those bye weeks. Remember, before the bye weeks start in week 3 or week 4 or something like that, I think that they should have been concentrating a little bit on the bye week schedules, because I was showing them a couple of different ways how they could get rid of the bye week. What the NFL could do is the NFL could eliminate the bye weeks, and just whenever a team comes off of a game on Thursday night, or go to a game on Thursday night, instead of giving them a bye week, give them from Thursday, or how would you do that? You give them basically, how would you do that? You got um, maybe what it was is I wanted them wanted them to take a bye week, but whenever they get a bye week, they come back on um, the Thursday night or Friday or something like that instead of Sunday. So when they come back, see if they do that, you play them on Thursday. They're not gonna play Sunday, so you don't need a bye week really. Technically, actually, that's it. You have Thursday, right? Then they don't play Sunday. Then they have to. Then they have. Look at this. Check this out. So you make a team play Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 10 days for making every single team play on another team on a Thursday night and rotate it in and make the schedule. Don't be lazy to where they can rotate each team to play each other somehow during the season and eliminate the bye week altogether just by using Thursday night games. Because if you make them play Thursday, it's basically like giving them a bye week as it is. You're going to give them, honestly, it's the truth, you're going to give them a short time from Sunday, from the last Sunday to play on Thursday, but they're going to have a whole week off, basically, and then some in between that and the next Sunday. But also, what you could do is you could give them the bye week, but have them play Sunday, take a bye week. How would you do that? Make them play Thursday. It wouldn't work. It'd be too much time off. So just do it the way I said. Don't give them a bye week. Eliminate the bye weeks and make each team rotate in like that. Otherwise, you're playing it like this. So what it is I'm thinking like either ahead or behind, because they typically play a Thursday night game, and then unless it's their bye week coming up, they'll have to play again in 4 days. What I'm talking about is making them play on Sunday and then play 4 days after that on Thursday, and then when they play 2 games in a hurry within 4 days like that, instead of more or a whole week, Sunday to the next Sunday, then you'll be able to give them their bye week without having to call it a bye week because they already played in the schedule. It's a little bit complicated, and the reason why I was having a hard time explaining it, I think, is because I haven't talked about it in a while. My mind's been on a lot of other different things and not football. So that was the last 5 years. They won 8 games, and then when Del Rio got fired, it declined to 5, then to 2, then to 5, then to 2 last year. And I'm thinking they're only going to get 2 to 4 games this year. On my honest opinion, the Jaguars, and we look at them because From other teams that they could say might be cursed for some reason, have the NFL curse. There's 32 teams, and all of them are very competitive, and at times it's very pivotal. So, that's what you're looking for is these pivotal moments, not and you want your team to be able to compete against the Seahawks or the Patriots or whoever is a really good team. A team that is basically so good that they wouldn't need to cheat if I mean you couldn't you wouldn't need to cheat if you were as good as them, sort of, or something. But definitely the Seahawks are the strongest team and they're the most competitive. And we'll see if that remains to be so this year. So I see them as the NFC champs, but really I think they're the stronger team. I do not believe that if you said, "Oh, you had to play this game over," I believe that Belichick would flip, probably dive a coronary right on the spot. You told him, "Oh, you have to redo the Super Bowl. It's not a done deal." He'd be like, "Whoop," or something, or at least that Colts game or something. Um, so because he does not want to play the Seahawks. The Seahawks, what I was hoping forward to seeing them do is just creep right in there, all quiet. Sherman's used to talking a lot of smack, but he could back up a lot of that stuff. But I really wanted them to know that they don't have to talk all that smack; they can back their stuff up. So I wanted to see the Seahawks just creep right in there with the serious look, like they're like, "Whoa, the Seahawks look scary, like deranged for some reason." They're like just freaking like local, man, and then come in there and just silently snub their schedule out. I've been on this thing. I've had people try to, maybe one or two persons try to tell me that maybe I shouldn't look at it that way, that you have to look at it from game to game. Maybe that's how the Dolphins did it, but I'm looking forward to another team going undefeated and winning the Super Bowl, and I was hoping that it would be the Seahawks. 'Cause that's my team. That's my number one liked team overall. And then after that, I like a lot of other teams. I'm a NFL fan. So number one of all, I have to understand that I'm for the Seahawk franchise first and foremost, and then comes a spectrum that I am a actual NFL fan as it is. So that's how I could relate to any and all other fans of the sport in particular, regardless of what team they are particularly fans over. But um, I like the Jaguars. Probably would have to be faithful to them, even if I've had kind of like just differences of opinion that came down to kind of like almost like cutting ties with them. I would still have to at least secretly like hope for them the best and wish that they that they win their games more, like they say. They're claiming that they want more, so that's all I'm hoping for. So we're looking at, there was a response. I did a report. I had Camp Chancellor in there, my opinions on that. I just feel like whenever you make a deal, you make a deal. But seriously, it makes me think that if there's something that you want done in a deal, you really need to get it done before you sign the line. And whenever you sign contract or something, that it has to go down the way it says. You cannot, um, you know, uh, say do what Cam Chancellor is doing. Their response on NFL network was basically that he once forwarded some money, and no, he should not get forwarded some money, in my opinion. Besides, if you sign something, you have to live through it until it's over, and then you can sign a new one and move on with yourself or whatever. But my other opinion is, I believe that this kind of stuff can start a player holdout situation where they could end up striking for more money, because if you're talking about the same reasons, like, and they look, Cam's actually trying to look out for himself, and that's why he says he's doing it. Like the Seahawks are going to release him or something and then not give him bonus money that he's owed, which I don't think is going to happen. Um, they looking at like what they did with Peyton Manning whenever he cut them. Did the other team that got him, did they have to pay Manning the bonus money that he had? They might have had to have paid him a portion of it, but they might not have had to have paid any of it at all. Hello? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. Right on. Right on. Yeah. Hey, just whenever you see your friends, tell them, yeah, man, my son, he beat me up. What? I'm taught. What? Are you serious? How? Where you at? Oh, you're a liar. Hey, dude, you want to hear? Hey, you want to hear how the Jaguars win loss situation's been going the last 5 years? I just went over just 5 years, not their whole history, but the last 5 years. They won 8 games, then they won 5 games, then 2 games, then 5 games, and then last year they only won two again. And this year they've got a tough schedule too. They've got the NFC South with Drew Brees and Carolina Panthers Cam Newton, and then they've got who else did I say? Let me look real quick. Then they got San Diego. Wait. Is that right? No, this year they got they got both the South. It looks like they no sorry, they got New England and the Bills and all them. The AFC East with the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are gonna look improved this year too. They got that Donovan Sue guy. I think it comes on at 7. At 7. Oh, really? I'll look it up. See. Whatever. The Dogs. The Ducks. They play at 5. He was right. Dork. But anyway, I'd be interrupted every single freaking time and freaking try to. Alright. I want to close this video down. So, all I'm going to suggest and say now is this is the kind of stuff that starts player strikes. And if Cam thinks that the same thing's going to happen to him that happened to Peyton Manning back then, I think it would take something really significant. And I don't know that it wouldn't be on his own fault, on his own part, because he has been one of the most physical leaders of the defense in Seattle. So I don't know how much pressure that's already put damage on his own body by now, but as physical as it is, each NFL player gets to a certain point where their bodies are not going to be able to perform and do it anymore. So, and then in that sense, I don't know that it was necessarily all of Indianapolis' fault, but if we were following what was going on with what the Saints did to Peyton Manning in that Super Bowl, right? I rooted for them. I got a Drew Brees jersey that season, and then they went and played in the Super Bowl and won. So I was for them, and my father was rooting for Manning. So it was kind of it wasn't a good Super Bowl for us because usually we are on the same side. But they had a divided house in that Super Bowl. So, and I got the Super Bowl coin from it too. I put it in my safe or whatever. And the shirt and stuff like that. Which I'm glad that I have now because I might use it for a trade. I might trade it because I want a Saints Jimmy Graham jersey since he went to the Seahawks. I would rather have that than I'd rather have a Jimmy Graham Saints than to have Drew Brees maybe anyways. I like Drew Brees, but I kind of like, I don't know. I used to look up to Drew Brees so much. I mean, put a lot of respect into him and other different players and stuff like that. And it's not that I don't still respect him. I just am not in touch with the same way that I felt about Drew Brees before. So, and or the Saints. Maybe it was after the Spygate. It wasn't Spygate. It was I can't remember what they named the. They're basically penalized for putting hits on players, and they put a hit on Peyton Manning, broke his neck. So it wasn't Manning's fault or the team's fault that the team ended up screwing him around like that. Because if Peyton Manning hadn't been injured like that, he might have been able to pull something together better in that Super Bowl and kept it at more of a game. But you could tell they hurt him really bad in that game. So, and it was something that the team kept pretty much to themselves until it basically came out, and there was no way you could hold it back from the media, from people hearing about it. So, if Cam thinks that something like that's gonna happen where they'll cut him or something like that and not give him his bonus money, it's all on him. I don't think that it's necessarily on other players or another team, and actually the Seahawks' fault. I think it'll all be on Cam for the way that he's treated his body. And also, we put an emphasis on we like to fight a lot, so we we spar and we fight a lot. So we want to be as healed up and ready to go at all times. Um, quite like you would if you were in the NFL or in college or anywhere else when you got that physical with other people. So, but we think it's dangerous to play. It's a dangerous ground uh, game that he's playing here with the Seahawks organization because other players could end up wanting the more money now or whatever, and they're supposed to earn that bonus money, that bonus check or whatever. And honestly, regardless if people want to admit it or not, it has a lot to do with them being able to be fresh. So if Cam Chancellor in 3 years or 2 years or however long it is the deal lasts isn't fresh and ready to go on the field, that's his problem. You know, if the Seahawks look away from him now or at any other point in time and he doesn't get his bonus money because it's in the deal, and that's how the deal goes. So also that's another way that you can look at it too is that it's not a guaranteed or promised thing either. Um, so technically, it's not like they said, all right, this is a guaranteed for a fact. We're going to give you this 10 or 15 million Peyton Manning at the end of his time in Indianapolis. And he got paid filthy money from Denver since he's been there. So these players and stuff, where if he walked away from the Seahawks, I guarantee there'll be some team out there that'd be like, woo! Their eyes are woo, roll in the back of their head, and they'll be like, Cam Chancellor is coming here. You know what I mean? So I don't know what he's worried about. So it's really ridiculous. But anyhow, not really. Not really relating to anything else in particular. That's all we have for now. And thanks. That's just for now. We're just taking a peek at football. Look at football. Thanks.